Aaron, the Metal Theologian. And, yeah, so today I'm just going to do simple one, show off my Mercyful Fate records. So I'm a pretty big Mercyful Fate fan, as you may know, and you probably do know if you watched any of my videos before, to talk about them kind of a lot. Don't Break the Oath, when I did that Best Records of 1984 list, was very close to the top, and arguably could have been at the top. I mean, the top 4 or so were really all about equal there. So yeah, we're going to bust these out. Part of the impetus for this is that I've kind of relatively recently discovered the later stuff. I mean, for a long time I was kind of obtuse about the shit. I just had the 80s ones, and, you know, was kind of happy with those. And that's even though I'd seen the band in 1998. I thought they were fucking fantastic. I mean, they were great. I was right in the front, too. It was an awesome show. It's at the Maritime Hall in San Francisco. We'll try to adjust this a little bit, which is no longer there, unfortunately. But it was a great show. And, God, I'm trying to remember who opened. Probably Nile, realistically. They were playing pretty much everywhere at that point in time. So, when I saw King Diamond solo a few years later, I know Nile played there, too. So, yeah, they were like the hardest working band around for a while. It seemed like they were always everywhere. But so, anyway, if I can find the cover, right now we are actually listening to the second Blind Guardian record. And I'm kind of new to this band too, really, in a grand scheme of things. I only have the first 2, and they're like nowhere near as like full-on epic as I would have expected. These are pretty speedy, you know. So yeah, I'm digging this shit, man. So for a long time, and I kind of had an issue with a band called Blind Guardian that just seemed kind of like a little bit too much. But what can I say, man? I've been won over on this shit. And I'm kind of obsessed with their label, too, actually. No Remorse Records. There's a current label out of Greece called that, but this is a short-lived German one, and all this shit's interesting to me, so. But that's another video. So anyway, I'm actually going to be doing 2 tonight. Probably won't upload both at once, we'll see, so. But because of that, I'm going to get a smaller soda. This is only like 9.3 fluid ounces. And this is a Fentiman's Curiosity Cola, which is botanically brewed. It's a fermented botanical cola drink with ginger and herbal extracts. And they have that funny looking dog on the bottle cap there. So, oh, this has caffeine in it too. Right on, man. So, yeah, manufactured, it's like in Canada. How about that? Under license from a company in Britain. Anyway, it says upend before pouring too. How about that? Alright, yeah, I have had this one before. Not lately, though. And it's a really complex one, as I recall. But let's give this a shot and see. So, there we go. Fentiman's. Yeah, it's super herbal. Lots going on in there. I mean, you can taste, like, the cola, like the legit cola. But there's a ton of, like, herbal shit going on in here. Yeah, it's a really interesting drink. I mean, you know, it's sweet, it's a cola, but it's really sort of dominated by all these herbs that I can't completely place, although right off, even there's a little bit of a hint of ginger in there. It's the ginger isn't dominating like it's normally wants to. So yeah, what does it say? Carbonated water, fermented ginger root extract, which is water, corn syrup, ginger root, pear juice concentrate, and yeast. Cane sugar, flavor, that's probably what I'm tasting. Caramel color, and phosphoric acid, and caffeine. So yeah, you definitely taste the shit in here. It's a good cola, man. Yeah, these are actually relatively easy to find compared to some of them. Or some of the colas that I've come across, but always super tasty, man. And Fentiman's, they make a few different sodas, and they're all fantastic. So I'm partial to the Shandy too. So anyway, yeah, my own sort of story with Mercyful Fate is, you know, back in the 80s, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention because, you know, King Diamond and all, right? So years later, when I was living in San Francisco, probably like mid-90s, something like that, I was starting to get back into metal in a serious way again after taking a little bit of a break for a few years, and I wanted to check out Mercyful Fate, so the first one I came across was a copy of The Beginning, which I found at Reckless Records on Haight Street. And I took it home, fired it up. First song on that record is Doomed by the Living Dead. And it instantly blew my mind. That's still one of my favorite Mercyful Fate songs. And I've since upgraded that record to an original, the first EP, you know, the white border there. And yeah, I mean, so this is side A and side 1. And the songs are in a different order than on the beginning. But, I mean, this is just some all-time classic shit on Ravon Records out of the Netherlands, 1982. It's absolutely amazing. You know, I forgot to pull it out, but I actually do have the Metallic Storm, the Ebony comp that also had a really early and sort of primitive version of Black Funeral on it. So, shit, I should have pulled that out. But speaking of Black Funeral, of course, we have Melissa right here. And this actually has a distinction of being one of the very first records I ever bought on eBay. Just a couple of years after that. I mean, probably talking like 98, 99-ish, something like that. I mean, you can still get shit cheap. I'm sure I paid less than $20 for this. And, yeah, it's a Megaforce pressing. I've heard there's a different mix of the song Melissa on the Roadrunner press out of Europe. So I've been kind of curious about that, but I haven't been curious enough to actually do anything about it. So there we go. There's the big Megaforce logo right there. It has a silver label. Yeah, and this is also available. The Mercyful Fate 4-track, 12-inch on Ravon Records, which is kind of funny. Oh, incidentally, too, they have the Light Man credited on a few of these. And his name, I don't know if you can see that, but his name is Ole Bang, which I think is one of the best names ever. Like, yeah, I don't even know what to say about that, man. His name is Ole Bang, you know? Unless it's Old Bang, but I think it's Ole Bang. So anyway, yeah, it's fucking awesome. So yeah, they're still in Denmark back then, before King Diamond moved to Dallas. And of course, I mean, they still have Doomed by the Living Dead, Evil Though, Curse of the Pharaohs, Into the Coven, Black Funeral, Satan's Fall. I mean, every song on this is a fucking classic. Next one is maybe the most important one, right? The Music for Nations press of Don't Break the Oath. Look at that, so evil, man, right there. Fucking all the darkness and shit. Yeah, I mean, again, every song on this is great. But a couple of these, it's funny because a lot of this shit is really sort of proggy. I mean, Satan's Fall is like, what, like 7 or 8 minutes long, and it has all these different parts and shit, just like the Oath on this record. You know, different time signatures and sort of changes and all that shit. So, but I'm assuming you know all this shit, because I'm not even playing it right now. But this was really sort of the record where I realized sort of how much of a prog band Mercyful Fate really was. And I mean, King Diamond's solo stuff kind of had a reputation for that all along anyway. There's a lot of talk about that when he went solo, I remember back in the 80s. But you can really hear it on this stuff too. So, yeah, I mean, especially some of the, you know, deeper tracks like Nightmare or Night of the Unborn. So, I will admit that my very favorite songs tend to be the more sort of punchy ones, like Desecration of Souls, you know. One thing about this record I don't think it's said often enough is that this record does, like, sound like the producer was doing a lot of coke. And it's one of the things about the 80s that's not all that nice. So, funny, official merchandise and fan club, Ole Bang there. So make sure he gets his due. But yeah, you know, it's like really bright and kind of tinny, and this is the one record that could really stand for a remix, I think. I mean, for all I know, one of the reissues that's come out along the way, you know, has been remixed like that. And, you know, what am I going to do, upgrade my copy of it? Probably not, you know, but at least something to see. So this one came from Amoeba in Hollywood, actually. This is the Black Funeral and Black Masses 12-inch. Also on Music for Nations, incidentally. And, yeah, you can see his mustache really well there. And his sideburns, man. Fucking King Diamond was rocking it. I mean, that face paint's pretty awesome, too, right? But that mustache alone, he's already a fucking winner just with that shit right there, man. And those fucking, look at those fucking chops, dude. Fucking all the way down there. That shit, man. Goddamn, dude. It's fucking inspirational. If he had joined my contest a couple years ago, he might have won on points. Although Harmless Rebel's chops are really nice too. So. Okay, so for a long time, as I'm sure you all know, that was pretty much it. So there are a couple other things that kind of came out in the meantime that, of course, I had grabbed. So, and they were on this sort of semi-bootleg label called Satan's Nightmare. So, and there were 2 records on that label. One of them was this one, Curse of the Pharaohs, which has them all looking super young and shit, right? But it's mostly has really like demo shit, like primitive version of the songs, like Curse of the Pharaohs and The Corpse Without Soul, Black Masses. But then it also has some of the songs that got reworked into different songs later, like Return of the Vampire and Walking Back to Hell. And then a couple that just from one of the early ones. I'm not even sure which one it was. If it was Brats or whatever it was. It has like Mission Destroy Aliens and Love Criminals and some shit like that that you wouldn't really see on Mercyful Fate. But you know, it's fun stuff nonetheless. This stuff not really as good as when the band was fully sort of developed, but it's still a fun record to listen to, you know. So this is the other Satan's Nightmare record, and this is just a live record from the depths of hell, or live from the depths of hell. And both these have seen like a bunch of different issues or reissues over the years. I don't know who owns the rights, if anyone at this point, but they sort of go in and out of print, it seems like. And this is just, I don't know how many shows this is taken from. It's really kind of bootleg quality, given that this is like the bootleg to have for like, you know, live performance. I would kind of hope that the sound quality would be a little bit better, but you know, whatever. I mean, still, it's Mercyful Fate live, you know. Hearing a live version of a song like The Oath is just kind of priceless, you know. Satan's Fall again, you know. And, you know, I always kind of like it when a band start out with a song that I wouldn't expect them to start out with, and Black Masses in this case fits the bill. You know, it has like the intro and then Black Masses. They just go right into it. And it's sort of like, I've talked about that, hearing a Metallica cover band start with Escape. And it could sort of cause me to reassess a song like that. And yeah, it sort of deepened my appreciation for the song Black Masses, hearing that. Alright, so anyway, so that was it, right? Then King Diamond went solo, made some really great records. I mean, Fatal Portrait was sort of like a Mercyful Fate record, really, as far as the sound goes, but then it really sort of, you know, went off and became its own thing. And then he was running the 2 bands in parallel for a while. So, I think I have all the 90s ones now as well. I don't have the Bell Witch, to say that right off, that 12-inch. But I do have In the Shadows here, which has the song on it. And these are all relatively recent reissues. None of these other ones should be particularly hard to find, although all these are kind of around right now, so. Great stuff, though, man. This one actually has a remake of Return of the Vampire. Plus, Is That You, Melissa? So sort of continuing that whole sort of saga. It started with Melissa, and then sort of mentioned Come to the Sabbath on Don't Break the Yoke, so it's kind of funny then, too, you know. A Gruesome Time is a great song, though. Egypt, obviously, and the Bell Witch. Yeah, just great stuff, and it's really, you can hear that a little bit of time passed, okay? But it's as close to picking up from where they left off in 84, 85 as you could possibly expect with sort of, you know, a 10-year break. So, you gotta give credit where it's due. Actually, is this the first one? Maybe I've got the order mixed up, man. This one says 98 on the back. Well, whatever. The song says 96, though, so. But these are out of order, fuck it, man. Like I said, I don't know these 80s or these 90s ones as well. So this is Time. Nightmare Be Thy Name, The Mad Arab. You gotta love fucking their take on like the whole Cthulhu mythos and all that shit. So, yeah, The Mad Arab, which actually has sort of a follow-up then afterwards. Great shit. Lady in Black, My Demon. Really enjoyable record. And fucking look at that back picture with the open skulls. Fantastic, man. This next one was actually sort of my entry point for this stuff. I'm pretty sure. No, actually, this was 96, so maybe I'm just all fucked up. I think I saw him on the Dead Again tour. This is the one, though, where I just sort of got it on a whim, and it sort of reintroduced me to shit, where I brought it home and I was like, this is so fucking good, man. I don't know why I ignored this shit for so long. You know, what can I say, man? We all have our hang-ups, I guess, you know. if the dumbest thing I ever did in my life was like snooze on 90s Mercyful Fate until 2018, I'll live, you know. I've done way worse shit than that, so fuck it, it's how it goes, right? So anyway, it has Cthulhu, the Mad Arab Part 2, and plus other shit like 15 Men and a Bottle of Rum. Man, Holy Water is a nice anthem on this one too. It's fucking one of the funniest choruses. I mean, I find the whole like Satan thing hilarious anyway, right? So, but yeah, great record. This is the one that I probably know the least out of these, so I might go a little bit fast over it. But this actually is a double, and this is Dead Again. I'm like double checking the years on this shit because yeah, I'm all like second guessing myself now, but still, man, it's really cool shit. This was a little bit more sort of concept album-y. I don't know if it's actually a concept album or not, because I haven't paid that much attention to the lyrics. But still, man, Mandrake sticks out right away as a great song, though, man. And, you know, Dead Again, of course, The Lady Who Cries. Great record, man, classic shit. And finally, this one misleadingly called 9, which was really the last one before they broke up again. And this one's a really enjoyable one too. I think it's probably the weakest of the lot. This is the one where I felt like the songs weren't quite... Alright, this sucks. Fucking a cover of Bob Rand. Jesus Christ, man. That's fucking pissing me off. Yeah, in fact, it's pissing me off enough to... Well, the video's almost over, so I'll just let it go. Anyway, it's still a fun record, man. If this is the first one you're checking out, maybe this should be the first you should check out if you don't know them, because it's already so good, it'll hook you, and then it'll only go up from there, and it's just fucking insane. Just unbelievable shit. So, yeah, so that's it, man. Got Burn in Hell, Buried Alive, Kiss the Demons, some evil fucking song titles on here, but, it's not quite up to the same standard, but it's still a really, really good record. I mean, see, Mercyful Fate is such a great band. If they put out a record that's a 9 out of 10, that's a weak record for Mercyful Fate. So, what can I say? I've heard people talk about the King Diamond solo shit a little bit more. I know LJ is a big fan of King Diamond solo. But for me, Mercyful Fate is really... I don't want to say the beginning and the end, because I like the King Diamond solo shit too, but that's it. On that note, by the way, King Diamond has a 50% showing up rate for me going to see him. I've gone to see King Diamond 4 times, and I've seen him twice. So I've gone to see Mercyful Fate twice, and I actually succeeded in seeing him once. And I went to see King Diamond solo twice, and one of those 2 times he canceled too. The first time was actually, it was the second time he canceled on me. But the first time I went to see King Diamond solo, I just moved to Austin, and I literally just driven a U-Haul there in about 36 hours from San Francisco. I was hauling ass because I wanted to get there in time for the show. So I got there, it fucking went really dangerously fast, given that I was going by myself. I made it there, got the truck unloaded, slept for a couple hours, and I was like, okay, ready to go see fucking King Diamond. And he canceled. And I was like, God damn it, man. I could drive all the way here from San Francisco, but you couldn't drag your fucking ass down here from Dallas? Come on, man. Give me a break. I was really pissed. But, what can I say, man? I just can't stay pissed. Not at the King. So, maybe he's a little bit of a... I would say prima donna, but I guess what I'm really thinking is wuss. But, you make records of that quality and that many of them to boot, and what can I say, man? I just can't stay pissed, like I said. So, Mercyful Fate, if you don't have any, you fucking need some. If you haven't listened to any metal, they're a good entry point band as far as I'm concerned, because it's complex. The songs are great, but there's all sorts of different shit going on that draws you in, and there's more and more on repeated listens. You know, I love Venom, but I can listen to Mercyful Fate over and over in a way that I can't listen to Venom, you know? So, there you have it. That's it. So, till next time. Thanks for stopping by.